Today has been a difficult day for writing. Perhaps the change of weather outside, perhaps that it's a Monday and Mondays are notoriously busy at work, or just getting more pregnant. It hasn't had time to be isolated yet, but there's some sort of fear that it's going to get there. Hello everyone, it is week 3 of my new project and week 3 of this vlog. I am feeling much better, although I hesitate to say healthy. So feeling human again definitely puts you in, I don't know, such a good mood. My name is Chelsea Utek, speculative fiction writer, and this is my vlog following my process from blank page to shelf, be it a bookshelf one day or a metaphorical shelf where books go to die. I need to set that aside. So I did have a little trick in my back pocket that one of the people at the when I was at the Iowa Writers Workshop, not this last summer, but the summer before, and became my critique partner. She gave me a newsroom hack that they use. Journalists, I guess, are just as prone to writer's block. I shouldn't call it writer's block. Prone to difficulty writing as anybody else. So there were a couple of tricks, but the one that's really stuck with me is sour candy. To try a sour candy, and that gets you into the headspace of writing. I don't care what anybody says, it works. So my husband picks up some of the sour candies for me. He then proceeded to eat half the sour candies, but I still have a couple there for emergency situations, and this feels like an emergency situation. So I actually think I'm going to go sit outside and write. It's quite windy. Maybe it's a bad idea, but we're going to give it a go and see if anything comes of writing in a different location.
So distracting. You're so distracting.
It's quite nice out here, and actually the noise is about equal as it is in the office, or we're slightly farther from the construction. Anyway, despite the distractions, dog, construction, and the like, yeah, I got 2.5 pages written. I don't know that I'm really happy with them. Just quite pensive. I have words though. The sour candies did their job. Tuesday, and it is so cozy in here, raining outside and just full-on fall weather. So as fall descends, I have descended into my natural state of most basic white girl. I've set up a nice little cove in here with my candle going, and I had music playing on in the background. And I'm gonna take some time to write. I'm actually going to try Scrivener one more time and move my work back into that. So that's my mindset right now. And I think having the work in Scrivener, I have an older version. I don't know if the newer version is any better than the older one for organization, but I'll get reacquainted with it a little bit. I didn't like the way it exported my documents in the past, but hearing my writing group when I was in Iowa talk about Scrivener. I think it was probably user error. So I'm going to put it back in to help organize my thoughts a little bit better. And yeah, I think it's really great for tracking word count goals as well if you have daily word count goals. So I'll do that and type up what I wrote by hand yesterday. And hopefully that will get me in the mindset a little bit more. Well, I took a nice long time to put it all into Scrivener and to write, and I actually quite like it. I guess one time I had compiled my file and it had not kept my smart quotes or something. Again, it was probably user error. It's quite nice to track the word count and to keep everything organized, especially when I've decided I'm probably going to work out of order of where the scenes will appear. So I got a little over 1,000 new words. So that brings me to 6,268 words. It's so different than editing because my other project is kind of sitting at about 118,000. And the goal now is to like find places to cut and clean it up, make it a little more concise, pick up the pacing perhaps. And now here I'm like celebrating putting words in. I do find myself trying to save future Chelsea some of that drama by being more critical of the way my scene is going and not allowing myself to be too terribly wordy. But at a certain point, you also just have to let whatever words flow. It's part of the process. I don't know why I think that I can ever learn to cut out a stage of the process. It's not going to happen for me. I do have some time before I have to go out, so I think I need to put my feet up. Today actually marks the day that I am in my 3rd trimester, and pregnancy is kicking my butt really, really hard today. So I'm going to go and I think read a little bit. I haven't done that in a long time, and just take a breather, not be sitting up. This kid is kicking me. So I'm gonna go relax a little bit, and then the rain has let up. So I think I'll walk over to the school, get my husband and my son, and come home. Today we are not being social. Thank God. I have been running around like crazy this morning because this is the work date I have with my friend today. I did not have luck on ordering taxis. Anyway, just too much to do, and the taxi went from like no taxis at all, 15 minutes away, you pay extra for priority, to like here right now. So I'm running out the door. It was a very full day and so nice to be back in the city. I really love the city and I really love the countryside, and I wish the suburbs would just commit. But it was so nice to go to a cafe. I joined a friend there for some writing, and we did like Pomodoro somewhat style writing. It was we did 3 sessions of 25 minutes and did longer than 5 minutes in the middle to catch up as well. But I wrote 1,800 words, just over 1,800 words, which brings me to just over 8,000 total in the project. And it felt really nice. It felt nice to spend time in a cafe. It felt nice to spend time with a friend. And yeah, I don't know, it's right on the street that we used to live on. And it's been really lovely to be so close to the school and to have more space out in the suburbs, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, it hasn't had time to be isolated yet, but there's some sort of like fear that it's going to get there. So taking the time to go and be in a cafe and walk down that street that I love so much, it was nice. It was nice to see like that I can build the time in to do that. Yeah, things are going well in the story. I decided to focus on one point of view at a time. So I'm focusing on the mother character's point of view and going through, and I've finished 2 of her scenes already, one of the other character kind of before I made this decision, and I think that that's going quite smoothly, and I think it'll help me to kind of finish some of her mindset. I know that will mean a lot of editing and reordering to make sure that the pieces go together well, but yeah, it's getting there, so that feels nice. It is getting close to my bedtime. I'm going to sneak off and get some rest halfway through the week, and tomorrow's going to be quite busy work-wise. I just put off preparation for one of the more challenging classes to do some that I'm more familiar with. So it's going to take a different kind of mental energy. I will set aside time to make sure to get a little bit of writing done, but the work tasks are certainly going to take up a large chunk of that time tomorrow. I don't think the words are going to continue to come this easily throughout the entire project. I feel like this is kind of to the 15 or 20K mark that this usually happens, that things are flowing really well. Usually by 15,000, I'll hit a wall. Usually the wall is that I'm not really sure what the overall conflict is. My outline feels pretty strong, so I don't know if that'll come up this time, but then by 40 or 50, it's going to be muddled and is pacing moving. So I'm gonna try to ride this high for as long as I can and enjoy the words flowing somewhat naturally. This time my tea is actually cool enough for me to hold and perhaps even sip, so I'm learning. Today is Thursday. It has been crazy productive, but not productive in the writing sense. So I'm most of the way through the workday now, and it's been all work. Yeah, I just kind of like skipped lunch and just was in the zone of designing American literature and British literature curriculum, units, modules, assignments, all of those fun things, and got a little bit ahead in those courses. And so that means it's time for me to move on to my creative writing course. There wasn't really much that I could use from previous years, so it's a lot of redesign. But the plus side to that, I'm trying to find a plus side because it is a lot of work. The plus side is that I get to reorder how I do things. And maybe I've made a mistake in starting with nonfiction, but I feel like that's always easier. The students, I think most people's inclination is to draw from real life, right? So that just works into that. So I'm actually using this book in my class, which I've used kind of like sporadically in previous years, but I'd like to lean on it a little bit more and use more mentor text. So I'm going to combine a little bit of work, a little bit of passion project, and I'm actually going to work through some of these with my own book in mind. There's stages that I've already kind of done, but I can kind of gloss over them a little bit more and just plan where it's going to go in my course. But I'm going to do some of the exercises for character creation and setting, because that's why I put away the other person's point of view, is because I don't really know what the setting is going to be. How far in the future is it? How different is it? And what kind of aspects do I want to highlight? As well as the character, I don't really have a clear picture of that character's voice. So I want to play with that a little bit. I do have a meeting in about half an hour, but I thought I could spend some time planning my lessons, deciding what that will look like, but put it next to a little bit of my own creative writing. So we're gonna see how that goes. See if that combination helps me to get two things done at once. Two birds, one stone. Let's give it a go. I got a lot out of that. I think I got more out of it for my own writing as opposed to for the class. Or maybe it's just that I need more time for it to apply to the class or to be the specific activities that I need it to be. But this has been really helpful, and it is a reminder to make some time to do some writing warm-ups and writing activities that aren't just strictly related to a novel, which I think that I can just get so in the zone of a particular project that I don't end up doing anything outside of that. And sometimes those things lead back to other projects or to the project I'm focusing on, and sometimes it goes to another project, or at least it builds a sort of skill. So that was inspiring in that way. And actually, like, I feel so in the zone for this at this moment. But my meeting is in 4 minutes now, so I need to wrap up kind of what I'm doing here and focus on that for some time. Perhaps I'll have some time this evening if I can convince my husband to take on bonus baby duty. It's Friday. I have not written new words in my project. However, I got really into these writing activities in the workbook to the point that I couldn't pretend it was for work anymore. It very much was about me. But I have no excuse. No excuse. Yeah, it's nice because I met one of my characters, I think. That was very much just a stock character in my head, drag and drop from any number of stories or pieces of media without much detail to her. And I found her through one of these writing activities. I don't need to go into too much detail about it, but that felt so good. So it's nice to feel quite positive. I am about to go enjoy some of this beautiful weather. I am going to sneak in a tiny bit of writing, and then hopefully again in the evening. It's been a whirlwind of a week with a lot of ups and downs in my mood related to writing in general, but really especially to this project. weekend has been really full. We spent Saturday hiking from a village called Gudarekhi up into an old monastery, and it was so lovely, of course, to get out of the city and be out in nature for a little bit. I've gotten very little writing done for my project, for my book. However, I have been working more on the daily practice aspect of writing and spending time doing some free writes and some clusters and some exercises, which has been really helpful and has really opened up more parts of my book to me where I felt somewhat stuck in one character's headspace and I didn't have a clear vision for the other characters. So it's been really helpful. It's difficult because you don't see instant results. You can't count those words towards anything, but it still does a lot for your writing. It's hard to give your limited writing time up for that, but I do think it's beneficial and I think it's something that I need to spend more time doing. I found the time to write and I've continued progressing, just passing 9,000 words, which is of course on par with this number I said last week. Like if I could continue writing, 2,500 words a week, really, wouldn't that be an accomplishment? But sometimes the good writing days make the bad writing days feel worse. The less productive writing days feel worse. But I'm going to keep working on building the daily practice and getting my stamina back up because it really is a different animal altogether from editing and revising a work. And it's honestly also been really challenging to let go of my other book as the beta readers and my critique partner have a look at it. So I'm counting down to that October 1st deadline where I'll meet with my critique partner and my beta readers will have their feedback back to me. And I don't know what that balancing act is going to look like. So for now, I think I just need to appreciate working on this. And one day this will be the project that I'm going to have a hard time letting go of. I'm going to wrap it up there and look forward to the 4th week of both my project and this vlog. So hope to see you there.